Straight up to the story that we are closely tracking. Amid tight security, 25-year-old Hadiya returned to Shivraj Homeopathy Medical College in Salem. This after the Supreme Court allowed her to complete her education. Remember, Hadiya, also known as Akhila Ashokan, who is originally from Kerala, converted to Islam and married Shafin Jahan. However, this created a controversy after her parents alleged that the conversion was forced. Despite being a married woman, Hadiya was then forced to live with her parents.
2 ദിവസത്തിന് ശേഷം എനിക്ക് ക്ലിയർ ആയിട്ട് എനിക്ക് ഇവിടെ എന്തൊക്കെ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസ് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിച്ച ഫ്രീഡം ഇതാണോ അല്ലേ ഇതുവരെ ഒരു ന്യൂസോ ഒന്നോ ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെയും കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല എൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ ഒരു ഫോണില്ല ഞാൻ സത്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരാളുമായിട്ടും കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തില്ല ഞാൻ കോടതിയിൽ പറഞ്ഞത് എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടവരെ കാണണം എനിക്ക് ഫ്രീഡം വേണം എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടവരെ കാണാനും സംസാരിക്കാനുള്ള ഫ്രീഡം വേണം 6 മാസം എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടാത്തവരെ മാത്രമാണ് ഞാൻ കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളത് സംസാരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത് അവരുടെ വെറും സംസാരിക്കുകയോ ഇത് ചെയ്യുകയല്ല ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത് അവരെന്നെ ഹരാസ് ചെയ്യാണ് നിർബന്ധിക്കുകയാണ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത് അവരാണ് എന്നെ മതപരിവർത്തനത്തിന് ശ്രമിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത് എൻ്റെ പേരൻസ് തന്നെ എനിക്ക് മെന്റലാണെന്ന് വരെ പറഞ്ഞൊരു സാഹചര്യമാണ് ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് ഞാനിവിടെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് എനിക്ക് ഇനിയും ഞാൻ വലിയ തടവറയിലോട്ടാണോ പോയത് എന്നുള്ളത് എനിക്കറിയില്ലല്ലോ അത് ഞാൻ അറിയട്ടെ ശരിക്കും മനസ്സിലാക്കട്ടെ ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ വിളിച്ചു അച്ഛനോട് സംസാരിച്ചു പക്ഷേ ഷെഫിൻ ജഹാനെ വിളിച്ചു പക്ഷെ എടുത്തില്ല ഇതൊരു ശരിക്കും ഒരു ഇന്ത്യൻ പൗരന്റെ അവകാശങ്ങൾ തന്നെ തടഞ്ഞു വെച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമാണല്ലോ ശരിക്കും അല്ലാണ്ട് ഇതൊരു ജാതിയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പാർട്ടിയുടെ ആയിട്ട് ഒതുക്കേണ്ടതല്ല.
Deepak Bopana now joins me on the phone line with the latest on this story. Deepak, Hadiya finally back in college. She desperately wanted to continue with her education, but has she got the freedom that she was demanding from the Supreme Court?
Well, at least she's hoping that she does get it because while we spoke to her yesterday, while we spoke to her earlier in the day as well, that's what she maintained. She says for the last 6 months, the people she has been with are the people that she was being harassed by. And she also says that she did not want to be with these people. She rather prefers here being with her husband, Shafin Jahan. That's what she makes it amply clear if you listen to what she said. And also here, it's just the turn of events over the last 6 months that has surprised many people. What she said in the Supreme Court as well came as a shock to her parents. Her parents still in shock. They're quite disappointed with the statements that's being made by her and also the decision that has been taken by her. As far as the her stand is concerned, she says that she wants the freedom to live her life freely according to her wishes and according to how she wants. But will that be something that she will be allowed to do is something that's not very clear as of now because the Supreme Court has directed the dean of the institution where she's studying and pursuing her homeopathy to in fact be her guardian. He has clearly said that either the parents or the husband will not be allowed to meet her freely. It will only be upon permission that will be acquired by them after approaching the school management and of course the guardian, that is the dean of the college, will she be allowed to really meet the parents or the husband. At this point in time, she says she's spoken to her husband, not been able to meet him. Legal formalities are still being carried out. At this point in time, the Tamil Nadu police, of course, is providing her protection at the college and also at the hostel, and that will continue up until further orders from the court.
The court was very clear that Hadiya should be allowed to meet whoever she wants to. There should be no restrictions on that. The dean, in fact, setting down restrictions, like you pointed out?
Well, it's not restrictions, rather it's clarity that hasn't come by yet because the principal of the college has not got any clear-cut instructions from the Supreme Court. It's only been what he's been hearing. As far as any orders in specific are concerned, he's not received that. So as per his understanding at this point in time and what has been told to him by the police and yesterday the meeting that was held, he's saying that she will remain in her custody while she is in college and while she's in the hostel. Protection would be provided from the college management and also from the police. So he's making it very clear at this point, if anybody wants to meet Hadiya and Akhila Ashokan, that is because the principal also making it very amply clear here, she will continue to be Akhila Ashokan because no specific demand has been made by Hadiya to change her name, and even if she has to provide supporting documents. There has to be a gazette notification announcing that her name has been changed. Only after this procedure will the name change, because as per the university records, it still remains as Akhila Ashokan. and he says that up until anyone comes and approaches the management or
Deepak,
him
that
for
of course
permission,
is the official procedure to change a name. You cannot hold that against the college. But like you said, the college over here has restricted the kind of the people who can actually meet with Hadiya. This, of course, because they've not yet got the orders from the Supreme Court. Thank you for getting us all those details. We also have Rahul Ishwar who joins us on the phone line. Rahul, thank you very much for speaking with us. Hadiya made an impassioned plea for freedom in the Supreme Court when she spoke earlier this week. She also made it very clear that she wants to meet her husband and live with her husband like any other normal girl. She's gone back to college now. She seems to have got her freedom, but there are restrictions on whom she can meet, which includes her husband. What do you have to say to that?
There are 3 points, ma'am. One, I have fought hard for Akhila Hadiya, and my video, in effect, granted her release. But at the same point of time, I would like to caution my dear sister Akhila Hadiya for 2 points. One, she should show more patience because, it's an evolving situation. Tamil Nadu police and the dean will have to come to a conclusion and consensus regarding what all can be allowed and what all cannot be not allowed, owing to even take care of the security situation. Second, I don't have any ill will towards Shefin Jahan, but at the same point of time, Shefin Jahan right now legally is not her husband. Kerala High Court has annulled the marriage. So we cannot forget those points. Let that case be fought on January. So Akhila Hadiya should have all the reasonable freedom, but she should give time for police and the dean to come to a consensus. I will myself try to meet her in a couple of days, in some days, after requesting dean and Tamil Nadu police. So it's an evolving situation. It's a complicated case, so much so that the Chief Justice of India went on record to say, I have never seen such a complicated case in my entire lifetime. So that much is the complexity of the case. We should respect the gravity, the national media coverage, the security in this matter. Police should be given prime importance. Her security is important. Dean's instruction should be followed. And Akhila Hadiya, who has waited for 11 months altogether, should be a bit more patient before she comes to her own conclusions.
Ishwar, but the point is, even if the marriage were annulled by the Kerala High Court, the fact is this is an adult woman. And if she chooses to meet an adult man with her own, out of her own free will, why should she be stopped?
I know, I partially concede that point. I agree with that point. But please remember, the case is not as simple as that. NIA is investigating the case. Shefin Jahan is alleged to have some extremist links. I don't know whether it is true or not, but NIA is alleging like that. So there are many reasonable restrictions that will put on her, but definitely she should be given a mobile. She should be given all the other facilities so that she can freely talk and communicate. But her physical presence will have some checks and balances. We should be realistic, not too idealistic in a situation like this. It's a hard-fought day for her after she won the freedom. So, some amount of caution she should also apply. Otherwise it will only backfire in her own case in Supreme Court.
Right. Rahul, also you've been following this case quite closely. Like you said, you've been helping Akhila Hadiya over here. Now tell us, especially over here, because like you said, she has to wait, she has to be patient. When do you expect that the dean will, probably sit down and give her a better, rules?
I would personally request to dean over media, and in some days I'll definitely go and meet him. I was outside state, that's the reason why I couldn't go. I'll go and meet as a third person, as an impartial person, to grant her more freedom. But at the same point of time, I understand the dean's concerns too. Just imagine from his perspective, if something happens to her, it will be a national outcry, and even Supreme Court will hold the dean responsible because dean is the local guardian. So dean will have to take extra care for these things. So we have to be very realistic and trust. I have been an activist for 12 years. I have never seen and intervened in such a complex case ever. It's a complicated, complex, multi-sided case where terrorism is invoked, human rights are invoked, citizens' rights are invoked, a girl's personal pain, a family's loss is invoked. So many
So like you said, Akhila Hadiya over here will have to wait for some more time, be a little more patient. Hopefully, she will be given a little more freedom. That freedom comes very hard won. Rakesh Sinha, RSS leader, also joins us on the phone line. Rakesh Sinha, thank you very much for speaking with Mirror now. Hadiya over here made a very impassioned plea in court, and she's returned back to college, but her freedom is restricted. There are tabs on who she can meet and who she cannot.
No, I don't think freedom is restricted. She has been given enough freedom to pursue her education, and also the dean has been appointed as her guardian just for her safety, and because the investigation is going on, and there are many dimensions of the investigation. So I think such restrictions are in her favor. She's not getting suppressed or repressed by the court or any section of civil society. She is free to act and use her freedom for her education. As far as her husband is so-called husband is concerned, he is free to meet her. So she can meet anyone she would like. So I don't.
But the college is not really allowing her to meet with her husband as of now.
No, I think that depends on, because her husband is directly related to PFI. He is not merely husband. He has some background which is I want to call the criminal background, but that is definitely suspicious background he has. And there are many aspects concerned to her marriage, because High Court has already declared annulment of her marriage.
But Mr. Sinha, this is completely against the principles of justice. It's not yet been proven that he has any links to any terror organization over here.
You know, we should not develop a culture of disbelief about our institutions, because NIA is India's premier institution which has been investigating and has many documents in its possession, and court is monitoring. So we should believe on court and NIA, and we are a conscious civil society, even if court...
Right, Mr. Sinha, but the court did not say that she should not be allowed to meet her husband.
No, now once you know the dean has been appointed, and nothing is going to fall on her head if the 20 or 30 days the so-called husband is not allowed to meet her, because there are many dimensions which is beyond our information, which NIA has, which the court has in its possession. It's not merely the case of one individual. And I don't consider the case, it is a triangle case between the individual parents and the husband, because national security and the state pattern is available. Once NIA has said that neurological language programming is used, neuro-language programming is used, and you know this programming is being not used by the PFI but also the ISIS. This is the latest programming that has been widely used by the Islamic organization all over the world. And almost 1 dozen countries, the judicial system has recognized its ramifications. So at least we should wait, and I think she's a young lady. We should protect her. We should maintain her confidence. We should not do anything which should harm her. And I wish her the brighter life, and I think that everything would be set in a few months.
Right, Rakesh Sinha, you're making a very, very strong case over there. But the fact of the matter is, here is a girl who demanded a freedom from the Supreme Court, which she was granted. Here is a girl who wanted the freedom to study, the freedom to lead a normal life with her husband, whom she married of her own free will. The reality is, this girl has now gone back to college, but it is no less than a prison, which is precisely what she's telling. She's not even been given a mobile phone. There are restrictions on whom she can meet.
No, I don't think that these are the restrictions. These are the college norms, and this is a special circumstances she has been living. And that is on 3rd January, court is going to hear there is the next hearing. So in between, nothing should happen. Everything is to protect her. Her life is more important, and her utmost desire was to pursue her academics. That has been respected, and she said that she should be paid by for her education. The bearing of the education should be on her husband. That court has accepted. Now state is not bearing the husband. So court has accepted many things just because the investigation is going on. And investigation is under the Supreme Court, and the NIA is doing that. So it's a matter of almost 30 days.
Right.
It is.
Right, Rakesh Sinha, thank you very much for joining us. Rakesh Sinha and Rahul Ishwar both saying hard-won battle, but Hadiya will have to wait for some more time. And if she is being restricted over here by the dean, it is for her own security. Of course, this is a story that we will continue to track very, very closely.